Hello, and welcome to Hello Sister, a Vampire Diaries podcast with a magical twist.
We're your hosts, Christina Rosso-Schneider.
I'm Brenna Dinon. Christina, how are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Just living life.
Just living life. I know. It's been, we've been both kind of burning the candle at both ends recently between stacking up some pod episodes, doing some field trips for our podcast, which we may or may not have shared by the time this episode airs. Hopefully we will. We plan on it. No, definitely will, actually, just based on when this podcast episode goes out. But yeah, we've been keeping pretty busy.
We certainly have been keeping pretty busy. It's also our birthday month.
Yeah, birthday month. Well, what's funny is that you all at the beginning of June got our first what was the most Children of the Damned.
Mm-hmm.
Will have been the episode that just got released the day that we're recording this. But we record obviously a few weeks prior to, so we're kind of doing some time slipping backwards and forwards in between things. And so at this point, we had missed announcing that it's our birthday month. So, hey, at the mid-month point, it still hasn't been our birthdays yet because our birthdays happen in the latter part of the month.
Well, my birthday will be just a few days after this episode's released.
Yeah,
so
just a few short days.
Happy birthday week to me.
Yeah, happy birthday week to Christina. And be sure to show Christina some love on our socials. I'm sure we will be doing something for that too. And also another thing we missed is Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
We, again, just with timey-wimey stuff on how we record, we forgot to mention that in our previous two episodes. So we're mentioning it here.
We're mentioning it here. Happy Pride.
We are so excited for Pride Month. We are just, at this point, hopefully had some Pride celebrations of our own. And so we just wanted to announce it here. So if you are celebrating Pride this month, enjoy the rest of the month. Okay. So other housekeeping stuff very quick here at the top.
So as always, any ways that you can support us, it means truly the world to Brenna and me. So sharing the podcast with your friends and family, whether that's through word of mouth, through Instagram, YouTube's, whatever your favorite listening platform is. Leave reviews. Those are really helpful. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and Threads. You can also support my business, A Novel Idea on Passyunk, by ordering books. We ship everywhere. Maybe you might want to think about ordering my books because it is my birthday week. Nice little birthday gift for me. But you can also book Brenna and me for tarot, whether that's virtual, in person, both of us, just one of us.
Sky's the limit.
Sky is the limit.
I guess however we can get to you is the limit. But we're
the limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist, theoretically speaking. But so where can you interact with us outside of our podcast episodes? So we are on Instagram and Threads at Hello Sister Podcast. And as a reminder, you can always shoot us a line, drop us some thoughts at Hello Sister Podcast 1864 at gmail.com. And I think that's about it for our top of the episode. So let's jump into episode 15.
All right, let's dive into the Vampire Diaries episode 15 called A Few Good Men. We will talk about our thoughts around this title as we go deeper into the episode. This episode was directed by Joshua Butler. That's a new name for us around here. Very fun. And it's written by our boy Brian Young, and then another newer folk for us.
Have we seen
maybe?
I feel like the name's sort of familiar, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah. Andrew Shabliss.
Shabliss. Very cool last name, Andrew.
Feels very like ASMR.
Yeah.
Shabliss. And this episode aired on March 25th, 2010. I had said in the previous episode that there was a little mini break post the mid-season break, and that was between episode 14 and 15, not episode 13 and 14, just to clarify. As always, we would love to share the IMDb synopsis. This one is great, as usual. Recurring guest star Melinda Clark appears as Kelly, Matt's long-lost mother. Sounds like a pet you lost.
I know, what?
Sheriff Forbes, played by Marguerite McIntyre.
Just in case you forgot. Because, what?
I don't know. Asked Damon to be part of a fundraising bachelor auction. Yes, and.
What? These are... IMDb, you continue to amuse us every week with these. I love them. I guess, sure, there's just a lot of other, not a lot, we'll talk about this episode. There's not I have feelings about what this episode is and how I feel about it, but there's more that happens than just clearly just this, especially around, I don't know, say Alaric and things around his storyline. Okay. But without further ado, let's get into our opening scene. So our opening scene here is, "You seem nice, let me snack on you." And we are in the woods. So we are opening to a man hiking in the woods, presumably near the church ruins or the tomb. Twigs snap and he turns around to find a disheveled man in an old-timey clothing. He asks the hiker what day of the week it is and the year, and the hiker says it's Saturday in 2010. The man appears confused by this. The hiker asks what his name is and he says, "Harper, sir." The hiker then asks how he got out that way and why he's dressed like that. Harper then tells him he seems like a nice person and that he's sorry. And chomp. Harper bites into the hiker's neck. The man screams as Harper feeds. We see he has a ring with a large blue stone on it. Clearly, a daylight ring. Cue title card and opening credits. Then we come back up from our opening credits to see Harper has taken the hiker's clothing and a cell phone rings from the jacket pocket of the victim. This obviously is confusing for Harper, who we can obviously assume and connect that he's one of the tomb vampires, right? And so which I actually love, is that he looks at the phone and just frazzled and then just drops it onto the ground and then walks into the woods. And honestly, I wish I could be more like Harper, Yeah.
Just not get pulled into technology.
No, I don't know what that phone was capable of at that particular time in 2010, but it probably was more freeing than what's happening on our phones these days.
Certainly. As always, I have a timeline question.
Of course, yeah. Please let us know.
The hiker tells Harper that it's 2010. So I want to know if in Mystic Falls timeline, right? We know that this episode aired in March 2010. We know we are recording in June 2026, just to make sure all of our timelines are clear. But as far as we were aware, we were still in 2009. And so the hiker says it's 2010. So do we think it's January now? There was about a 6-week break between the release of this episode and the previous one. So it makes sense that we're into the new year, but we don't know what month we're in.
Yeah, it's definitely intriguing. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the last episode we did call out snow on was that last episode where we talked about snow on the ground? And I think there were wreaths hung up as well, in some of the downtown shopping area where the grill is. So it might be it's gotta be early 2010, I would say. Yeah. But it is a sneaky way to not let us know by just saying it's 2010.
Right. And Harper asking what day of the week it is, I would be like, what's the date?
Yeah. Like, I don't care if it's a fucking Saturday or a Friday. I just want to know where am I? When am I?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So this tomb vamp, who we saw Harper, though he was still pretty desiccated.
Yeah.
We saw him make his way out of the tomb in the
Mhm.
previous episode. And he's out and about, and he's ready to blend into 2010.
He is. I felt like it's not that it would be weird for someone, like I just was trying, maybe I was thinking about this a little too hard, but my time brain was mulling over this for some reason. But like, okay, so he kills the hiker, he puts on the clothes. I mean, I'm guessing that because the clothes aren't that different from clothing from the 1800s, it's like he was able to figure out what the pieces of clothing are, but they are like arguably different.
They certainly are.
So I was just like,
does he know how to operate a zipper?
That's what I was wondering. I was just like, was there a struggle? I mean, it didn't seem like
there's
it.
Velcro on something.
Yeah. So I was like, did he have to take a minute? I don't know. Do you think you would? I'm not sure. I mean, yes, actually, I feel like
genuinely
femme fashion was like a lot more complicated. So I actually think it would be weirder.
Oh, absolutely. Also, I'm someone who puts clothes on like inside out, backwards.
Yeah.
I literally have fallen over multiple times trying to put my leg through shorts or something. So me getting dressed in the middle of the woods when I've been in a tomb for 145 years, good luck.
I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know if it would have come to.
I don't know if I'm making it out of those woods with clothes on.
Oh my God. I mean, listen, this is why it made me, it spurned a bunch of questions. Yeah. I just sprouted a bunch of questions in my mind. So thank you for going on the journey with me.
Yes. All right. So our next scene, I did tap into some of my cheerleading roots with the title of this, which I had two titles. So I'm going to try to give both.
Please do.
Both for them. Okay. Burr. It's cold in here. There must be some birth mom truce in the atmosphere. So that's one.
I love it. What's the alternative one?
Okay, I have to remember. All right. ISOBEL is the name-o.
A+.
I mean, Isabel needs like another letter. I was saying this to you off camera. Like she needs like an A or something. Like Isabella to really get the but.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I thank you for digging deep into your cheerleader past to bring forth that to our podcast today. Thank you.
So this scene, we are at the Gilbert residence. Elena sits on the porch swing, leaving a message for Bonnie. From the call, we gather that Bonnie is out of town staying with her aunt, and Elena tells her, "We miss you here." Jenna walks up as Elena finishes her voicemail, telling Bonnie to come home soon and that Elena loves her. Jenna asks what Elena's doing out there, saying it's cold, even though Jenna is wearing a 3/4 length jacket and wears it the whole time when she's outside. Elena says she's thinking and writing. We learn the funeral for Grams, R.I.P., brought back a lot for Elena in regards to losing her parents. She asked Jenna if she ended up doing any digging into her parents and her adoption. Jenna tells her to come inside. At the kitchen table, Jenna shares what she's found. Dr. Gilbert kept everything from his medical practice, and she discovered an entry from the night Elena was born. Elena's birth mother's name is listed as Isabel Peterson. Elena asks if Jenna thinks this is her real last name, and Jenna says probably not since she was a teenage runaway. But this led Jenna to Bing. The Petersons in the area, because obviously the Bing was sponsoring them because it's brought up multiple times. So anyway, she's searching Petersons in the area, thinking Isabel might have borrowed the name from the classmate. She found one woman, Trudy Peterson, born the same year as Isabel, and she lives near town. Jenna then shows Elena a class of 1993 alumni page for Grove Hills High School, and there's a photo of Trudy Peterson and Isabel Fleming. Elena is excited that her birth mother was also a high school cheerleader, and Jenna tells her Trudy still lives there. How'd she get her address?
I know.
She hands Elena a Post-it with the address on it. Elena asks what about Isabel, and Jenna tells her she couldn't find anything. Elena seems disappointed, and Jenna, clearly weighing if she should say more, tells Elena that Rick's wife was from around here and her name was also Isabel. Elena catches the was, and Jenna confirms that Rick's wife is dead.
Oh, man.
Wow. What a scene. Okay. So Isabel's tude in that yearbook photo is truly iconic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brenna, do you have any memorable yearbook photos or fun themes that your high school did for the
I forgot
yearbooks?
to think about this. I don't really remember much. I do remember that for our like senior year, which I think is like pretty common practice for a lot of people's yearbooks, is that they put your like baby picture in there. So that was like fun, but I'm sure most of my pictures were just like me and the the clubs I was a part of or whatever, or because I was or even like because I was like in chorale and in some of the shows, so stuff like that. So I don't know if there was anything like in particular, but the way that they would make the yearbooks, my school, they had like rotating, every class had like a color that like stayed with you through the 4 years you were at school.
Yeah, you did mention that.
So so our class was like green. So I feel like every year, whoever was the senior, like the yearbook would be kind of like that color or have that color scheme or theme. So so for my senior year, ours was green. But yeah, I haven't really looked at my yearbooks from high school because I don't know. I didn't have like a bad time in high school, but I didn't have a good time either. So I was just kind of like, it was just a time. What about you?
So I definitely was in, any clubs and things that I was in. I was in chorus. I was a cheerleader for part of high school. I was in the Animal Rights Club, which makes a lot of sense for me as an adult, but I wasn't a particularly active member as a high schooler. It was my homeroom teacher ran the club, so she kind of like asked us all to be in it. She was the sweetest woman in the world. And if you asked her for anything, she would give, like, if you were like, Miss T, can I go to Madame, my French teacher's homeroom, because my two best friends were in that class? And she'd be like, sure, let me give you a hall pass. If you just wanted to take a little walk during something, you could get a hall pass from her. But she often would make you watch a video of like an animal being like slaughtered or something. Like she had to get her like cause in, and I'm like, honestly, that's pretty fair. But I mean, hey, Miss T, if you're listening, I grew up to be a vegetarian. So
yeah, there you go.
You really
she made a lasting impression.
She did. But yeah, so like club photos, things like that, and then like random photos I'd be in. But my senior year, we there was always a different theme for everyone's senior year.
Okay.
And mine in 2009 was movie posters.
Oh, fun.
So we recreated movie posters that were popular during, the 18 years, in my case, 17 years that we had been alive.
Oh.
And so I will find this photo and we can put it in no context. I was Caddy Herring for Mean Girls.
You were Caddy or Katie?
Caddy. The iconic, like the four, with Katie, the four plastics where they're doing the little like.
Oh, that's fun.
So I was in that, but after I got asked to be in that, they needed an extra Spice Girl for Spice World, but you could only be in one. And I was so mad because that's what I actually, hands down, would have been in. Even though I love Mean Girls, but like the Spice Girls, like was a large part of my personality at like 5 years old.
Oh my God, Spice World. That VHS was played on repeat growing up, which thinking back to it probably was inappropriate, but I still really enjoyed it.
Yeah. That was fun, and I should be able to uncover that photo because I recently had to show it to book club, so I think I can find it.
I'm obsessed. Yeah. Yes, please do. I'll have to see if there's anything from, I don't know. It'll just depend on my will of wanting to pull out my yearbooks because they're tucked away. But
fair.
But no, I love that. Thanks for sharing that story. Okay, so back to Mystic Falls. Jenna.
I love her just total honesty with Elena. Like you can see that she is kind of. I almost feel like she was hoping Elena wouldn't say anything to her. Like her reaction when Elena's like, "So, did you do any digging?" And she's like,
I feel like Elena was well. I'll talk about what I never mind.
Jenna's kind of like, "Why don't you come inside?" You know?
Yeah.
And so obviously she did do it, but she wasn't advertising that she did it. And so I don't know if that's because she couldn't find anything out specifically about what happened to Isabel and then the Rick piece or what. But I do appreciate that she just tells Elena what she knows.
Yeah, which is really nice. Now, see, what's funny is that so I feel like the way that Elena asks Jenna about this, my question was, why is she so frosty with Jenna? Because the way she acts it is like with a little bit of a twinge of a tude. And then I just thought, I was like, well, it seems like it runs in the family. Because like obviously Isabel has a little bit of a tude. And so like mother,
That
like daughter.
photo, tude.
Tude, exactly. You clock the tude and I'm just like,
Katherine, tude.
Also tude. There is a tude. There's a line of tudes.
A tude gene.
We'll be tracking these tudes. Don't be worried.
Elena's a 17th generation tude queen or whatever.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
Yeah, right? And like I was also stressed on how easy it was for Jenna to find this woman's address. Like I'm trying to be like, was it a phone book? Like what was it? It had to have been.
Yeah.
Because people's like addresses were like out there in like phone books time, right? Or was that just or was it just like phone or was it just your phone number?
I think I don't remember.
I don't know.
I think we're too young to have remembered.
Yeah, I mean we were like on the end.
I know
times
we're about to have birthdays, but we're still too young.
We're on the we're like on the like latter part of the millennial train. Like
I mean, I was 2 years old when Isabel posed for that photo for her yearbook, so
that's fair.
You know.
Yeah. So, I mean.
And you would have been 1.
Yeah. So, you know, but still, like the phone book situation, I don't know. I forget. Maybe one day we'll bring phone books back. No, we won't. Okay. Anyway. On to our next scene. The coincidence alone is just crazy. And we are at the Gilbert residence in Elena's room. So Elena fills Stefan in on Jenna's discoveries and tells Stefan tells him that the coincidence is too crazy for Rick's wife to be her biological mom. She shares that she has Trudy's address, but she's not sure if she wants to talk to her because if Isabel Fleming is Rick's wife, and that means her birth mother is dead, and she's not sure if she can handle that. Stefan asks Elena if Jenna told her how Rick's wife died, and she says that she was killed and that the murder was never solved. And then Stefan tells her the night at school when Stefan was with Alaric at school, like over the journal kerfuffle, Alaric told him some things about his wife's death, but he cuts himself off saying it's too much of a coincidence. He tells her if she decides to go talk to Trudy that he'll go with her, and Elena says she doesn't know what she's going to do yet. They hug, and Stefan says he should get going. He has to deal with Damon, and Elena asks how he's doing, and Stefan says he's dealing in his own way.
My only note is the coincidence is too much.
It is a lot.
I just think it's maybe just too intertwined.
Too intertwined, yeah.
For me personally.
If Rick had been there. If Rick had been there from the beginning and not just like came to town, I would agree. Like if it was just like uncovered, being like, oh, like. Yeah. But since Rick like did intentionally come to Mystic Falls, and like his like ex-wife had ties to Mystic Falls, I'm not as mad about it. Yeah. But I understand the coincidence is very coincidenting.
It's just, it's a lot, but I hear you there. All right, our next scene, Buzzkill Bob and business as usual. We are at the Salvatore boarding house. Damon feeds on a sorority girl. Kind of surprised it's the first time we've seen it.
I know.
There are 3 other sorority girls in the room dancing, all with bite marks. All of them are in various states of undress. Stefan walks in, turning on the lights. He then turns off the music and asks if he and Damon can talk. So then the girls are situated on the couch, and Stefan and Damon talk. Damon does call him Buzzkill Bob. Damon acknowledges that his brother is worried about him, but he tells him not to be. He is very clearly drunk and literally holding a bottle of bourbon. And Damon says that after 145 years of planning to get into the tomb, it's liberating to not have a master plan, and he's not going to dwell on Katherine not being in there. He says now he can do whatever he wants. Stefan expresses that that's what he's worried about, and Damon tells him to relax and that he hasn't killed anyone in too long. Stefan asks about the sorority girls, and Damon says they'll end up in their dorm room with headaches, thinking they blacked out. Business as usual. He realizes Stefan has another motive and tells him to drink up and spill it. Stefan says there was a woman Damon may have known a few years ago at Duke. Damon makes a crack about discussing the women of his past. Stefan tells him that Damon killed her, and Damon asks what his point is. Stefan says he wants to know if Damon remembers anything about the woman, and he says that it's important. Damon whispers in Stefan's ear that nothing is important. Not anymore. Such a drama queen. He then says he has to go exploit some women in the name of grief, and walks back to the girls.
Damon. My gosh.
So clearly Damon is in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Real talk, when does he ever not do exactly what he wants?
Yeah.
Regardless of his master plan or not.
I don't. He seems to carry on in his own way. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Just the sorority girls like sex party is just a little interesting. But
not a great look for your boy.
But, at least he's not killing them this time.
Well, we don't see them leave, so we don't actually know that, but yeah.
Yeah, it seems like, I guess he just probably, I was trying to think, functionally, again, just for some reason in this episode, just thinking functionally how some of these actions are being carried out. So I was like, did he just compel them to be like, you're just gonna go home? I mean, probably, right? He probably
or they're just
maybe healed
drunk
them,
and he's like, I know where we can party, and they willingly get in his car, and then he compels them.
Yeah, but to send them back to their dorms, does he just say them to go, tell them to go back? Probably. I don't know. I don't think he's escorting them back. Is I guess what I'm trying to say. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know if they brought a car there.
Yeah.
Where the school is, what school it is.
But they're tri-delts. We know that. Also, TTFN is very of the time of him talking about that.
I genuinely had to look it up because I was like, and then I was like, oh, of course that what it is.
Yeah. TTFN? Oh my God. Yeah. I feel like that was, I don't know, maybe we just, for some reason, when I was younger, we definitely used that. TTFN, ta-ta for now. For the kids that maybe don't know that. And anyone else who might not know that. Okay. So, on to our next scene. A little more bachelor patty. We are at the Donovan house. Caroline and Matt are sitting on the couch watching TV, and Caroline, our girl, is bored. She brings up to Matt that they have the entire house to themselves, calling it practically a bachelor's pad, and she says maybe they should do a little something more bachelor patty. Matt kisses her, and they start making out, removing their shirts, and then Matt's long-lost mom walks in. Uh-oh. And Matt covers up Caroline with a pillow, and Caroline covers her hands with her face. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right.
Her sweater looks so itchy.
It really does. When I saw that note, I had to go look more closely, and it does look like one of those weird glitter shirts, and I hate it.
I'd have a rash. Sex positive Caroline is back.
We missed her.
We did.
She also is stepping up her airy game. That, it was a cute bra.
It was a cute bra. She
cute.
always has cute bras. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not that
but
her
it's
ones,
sexier.
but it feels a little. It feels a little mature.
Yeah. Yeah. We finally get to meet Matt's mom, played by Melinda Clark. You may know her from another teen drama of a similar era, The OC. But my personal favorite role of hers is in the original CSI. She is a dominatrix named Lady Heather, who we meet throughout the entire show. I think she's in like 8, maybe 10 episodes, but she pops up in different times, and she eventually becomes a therapist. And I love her so much.
I love that.
She is probably one of my favorite TV characters of all time.
That's actually incredible. I didn't know that. I never
She
really.
looks super hot.
I mean, she is super hot.
Yeah.
She's like, just, yeah, hell yeah, girl. I mean, yeah, Julie Cooper, Marissa's mom. I was an OC head. I watched it, and but it's interesting because like her character. Did you watch the?
I did watch it
because like. Is her character as Marissa's mom? Like, she's got a similar vibe to like Kelly for sure.
Does,
like
yeah.
they're like, it's not like the same character, but it's like kind of the same character in a way. So, but fun to have her here to just make things a little more difficult for Caroline and Matt, as if they weren't already just difficult as they are. So it's fine. Okay. Next scene, new memories and old secrets. We are at the Mystic Grill and out front. Jenna and Alaric hang a sign for Mystic Falls annual Founders Day fundraiser. The sign advertises a silent auction and a bachelor raffle. We learn Rick is one of the bachelors, and he's not super happy about it. He helps Jenna with her side of the sign, and they smile at each other and kiss. Oh, I ship them so much. Jenna pulls away, saying that she can't believe she's going to ruin this moment, but she has to tell him that Elena recently found out that she's adopted and has been looking for her birth mother, whose name was Isabel. Rick says Isabel never had a baby, but she pulls out the yearbook photo of Isabel, and Rick, obviously surprised, says that Isabel never told him. He tells her he's going to go and walks off. Tough.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do we think this was Rick and Jenna's first kiss? It's the first time we've seen them kiss.
I think so, because she says that it's going to ruin the moment, so it feels like it is, and that's tough stuff.
Yeah. Jenna with the truth bombs this episode.
She's just dropping them.
She's just dropping them.
Dropping them on everyone. But I am like proud of her for like informing Rick of this, like despite it like ruining the moment, because I feel like that just, of course, like that's just a hard thing to have to deliver, but she's at least giving him the courtesy of that, because I'm sure it's going to come out instead of just like taking the moment for them. And she's like, I have to tell this man this thing. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I feel really badly for Rick.
Yeah. Tough stuff for him.
So our next scene, ask and you shall receive. We are at Trudy's house. Holding up the Post-it with Trudy's address, Elena stands in front of Trudy's house. She's nervous, but ultimately decides to knock on the door. Trudy answers, and Elena introduces herself, saying she wants to talk to her about Isabel Fleming. Trudy says she hasn't heard that name in years and asks how Elena knows her. Elena kind of stumbles over what to say, but she asks if Trudy knows about the baby Isabel gave up for adoption, and Trudy puts together that Elena is Isabel's daughter. Trudy seems happy about this and says she was just about to make tea. She asks if Elena wants them. Elena says yes, and Trudy tells her the kitchen is this way. Trudy watches the threshold of the door as Elena steps through. She looks outside before closing the door. Very sus. After a commercial break, Elena fumbles over why she came and how she wasn't planning to. She apologizes for barging in, but Trudy says it's no problem, just a surprise. They sit at a table together. Trudy says she hasn't thought about Isabel in years. Elena asks when she last saw her, and Trudy says about 17 years ago when she left to have Elena. She tells her that they kept in touch for a while, but eventually drifted apart. Elena asks if Trudy knows who her father is, and she pauses for a moment before saying she could never get Isabel to fess up. Trudy changes the subject, saying Isabel got a scholarship to college and went to Duke. In the background, the kettle whistles, and Trudy goes to get it. The camera follows her to the kitchen, where she texts someone saying, she's here.
Dun, dun, dun. Huh.
She seems very shifty, this Trudy.
She is.
Yeah.
She's got secrets. And I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's weird that she invited her like into their home, like into her home. Don't you think?
Like welcomed her in. Yeah.
Cuz it's like it's just like a weird exchange. It's just like a weird exchange all around. Like, I just don't, because just the way that she behaves with it, like,
Yeah.
you could have just not invited this young girl into the house. Like, you could have just been like, thanks, bye. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I feel like you and I are very empathetic people. And if someone showed up on, like, okay, let's say you had a baby you gave up for adoption as a teenager. Follow me for a moment. And they arrived on my doorstep because of the podcast. I'd probably let them inside.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Especially like if they looked like you and they seemed so nervous, I'd be like, oh, come here. I don't know if I'd let them in my house. I feel like I'd be like, do you want to sit in my backyard?
Yeah, like even in the backyard, or like, let's go get a bite to eat, or let's go get coffee.
Yeah.
Somewhere where there's like, I mean, I'm sure, I mean, like, Elena's a young girl, right? She's not like that opposing of a threat.
Doesn't mean anything.
But like, she doesn't, just because she just doesn't seem like, she doesn't give off the vibe of threatening. So maybe that's why, but it was just, I don't know. It was just like weird choices all around.
Yeah, it's like the thing that we see sometimes in TV and movies, and I know this happens in real life, that someone will go back to their childhood home and knock on the door and be like, I used to live here. Can I come in? And sometimes people let them in. I would never. Do you think I should go do that to my childhood home that's around the corner from your current home? She waves to me. She's got a little dog. I don't know her name. Dog. She's a little dog.
Can you tell her that I used to live there?
Hi, person who I only wave to like once every. I see once every like 3 months. I live a block over, and my best friend / pod wife grew up in your house.
Can we come in? And then I can invite you to the basement.
But maybe
in the house that's not mine.
What if we were walking, like taking a walk in my neighborhood, and she was out, and then I said hi, and then I'd be like, wait, I want to introduce, like,
I would say something. I probably would. I don't think I'd try to come in.
That's the move.
But the move is if she's outside being like, oh, hey, by the way, I used to live here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we're doing so good. Anything else about Trudy, Shifty Trudy?
That's it.
All right. Next scene. Like a daughter, like a mother. We are back at the Donovan house. And Matt is asking his mom where she's been, but she kind of dodges the question and shifts to focus on him and Caroline, not even calling her by name. Rude. Matt defends liking Caroline, and Kelly keeps up with the snide remarks about her as she grabs a bottle of vodka from the fridge. She also insults Caroline's mom, calling her Leslie Forbes, which we know those two knew each other because Sheriff Forbes mentions this, that they went to school together, like when they were investigating stuff around Vicky. So clearly Kelly has some opinions of Sheriff Forbes and asks Matt to get her ice for her vodka, which he just obliges and does. As he's going to do that, Matt asks his mom if she's heard from Vicky, and she says no, but not to worry because she'll come home when she needs something, drawing a parallel to her and her daughter. Matt asks if Kelly, is playing that game right now, but she says no. Matt doesn't buy it and asks what she's doing home. She deflects again and asks Matt to eat with her and to tell her everything she's missed.
Yeah.
I just okay. This is really tough because it's like she's just so disrespectful to Matt, and just I hate her right now. I mean, I just hate in general. And I think he's clearly, he's just had, he's always been put into this more caretaker role, and it's clear that he was caretaking for Vicky when Vicky was still with us, and then obviously he's falling into that role for his mom, and it's really tough to see, but it in a way, and I don't want to defend Matt here, but in a way it's I can see why he's shit at treating Caroline, because he has no strong model of a parental model to model how to treat a lady. And he's still a nice guy. I think at the core he has a good moral center, but it's clear that just with the dynamics at home, he's just not getting that. It's like very sad.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, it doesn't excuse how he treats Caroline, but it makes sense that that he doesn't know how to be in a relationship with her. And also, just thinking of it now, he definitely has abandonment issues. And I wonder if that's like part of the hang up with like he has with Elena, because they've been friends their whole lives. And I don't think this is a spoiler, but we'll learn in an upcoming episode that their moms were best friends growing up. So like they've literally been with each other from like the sandbox. And so when Elena broke up with him, maybe he did feel abandoned by her, and maybe it just triggered some of the issues he has.
So he's just being careful with Caroline. Well, Caroline's not Elena or Vicky or Kelly. So just saying, she's Caroline, and we love her. Okay.
We do. Our next scene, Let It Go. We are at the town square. Stefan stands in the town square waiting for someone, and moments later, Rick arrives. He informs Stefan that something's come up, and Stefan correctly assumes that Jenna told him about the Isabel connection with Elena. He confirms to Stefan that Isabel is Elena's birth mother. Alaric asks what Elena knows, and Stefan fills him in, saying that she knows pretty much all of it except that Isabel, her birth mother, is the same Isabel as Rick's wife, and she's not aware of Damon's involvement in her death. Stefan says he didn't want to tell Elena until he was sure. Rick reminds Stefan that he said he would help him, and Stefan tells Rick that he did ask Damon about Isabel and he didn't remember her. Rick tells Stefan to ask again, but Stefan cautions that Damon's not stable right now. Alaric gets a little pushy, making a comment about Damon's stability, but Stefan tells him to not push this because he will handle it, and asks Rick to let whatever he's upset with in terms of Damon's involvement go. Just let it go. Rick asks if Stefan's going to tell Elena to let it go, and this upsets Stefan, and he tells Rick to leave her out of it, and asks Rick if he has anything more than just Isabel's name. And Rick gives him a rather large.
It is rather large
wallet photo of Isabel.
It's like slightly too big to be a wallet photo.
Huge. It's huge.
Like I had to include that in the thing because I was like, this is large. Big.
It's like the size of my computer screen.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, well, I mean, Rick's definitely like got something there about not leaving Elena in the dark. Something that Stefan has
historically
done time and again is not a good idea.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how it shakes up, right?
Yeah.
But I understand. I mean, Stefan has told her everything he knows for a fact.
Yeah.
Right? He is waiting on confirmation. This is where he receives confirmation that her birth mother is Rick's wife. And he's trying to get information from Damon, who's not biting, right? But the way certain things are revealed later, it's like, well, maybe you should have just told her what you thought.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it both ways. I also wanted to point out that I think this is the first real time we get a good view of the clock tower in the town square. We saw them come out of the police station after Vicky disappeared, but we didn't get the full view. And the clock tower, without any spoilers, will become an important backdrop and set piece for the show.
Love that clock tower. All right, on to our next scene. You're like Mulder, except hotter, and a girl. And this is a flashback, and we're at Rick and Isabel's apartment. Rick wakes to find Isabel typing on the computer. He asks if she can finish in the morning, but she says she likes working at night, and he retorts that he likes sleeping at night, specifically with her. He then goes on to ask about her thesis and says, like, our scene title to her is like what he says. He says, "You're like a Mulder except hotter and a girl." Isabel walks over to the bed telling Rick that she's dug up all this stuff about a small isolated town in Virginia near where she grew up. And she goes on to share that every now and then People die mysteriously from what the town says are animal attacks, but she says the bodies are all drained of blood, and Rick is understandably confused. She concludes that this has to be vampires. I mean, obviously. Rick makes a joke about needing to get his garlic and holy water, but she rolls her eyes at him. Rick says they can get some sleep, and she resists, and they play fight. He says her belief in this kind of stuff is what makes him love her, and how she's making a degree out of it. He likens her I guess this is where he said it. Whoops, I might have mixed that up a little bit. Sorry. Isabel tells him it's not a joke and that she's going to prove vampires are real, and they share a kiss before she goes back to her computer and says, and Mulder was right in the end.
He sure was.
So, I've never seen X-Files, actually, fun fact, which is so crazy.
Wait, I think I did know that, and we need to rectify it.
That needs to be something. And then I will certainly be watching the reboot, especially after Sinners.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for that. Okay. Anyway.
Even though you haven't watched the show.
I mean, I'm just excited for Ryan Coogler, really.
Yes.
It's just his work alone is just stuff that I'm very interested in.
But
so
you would love just OG.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, and because I think like the reboot's going to be like a completely different thing.
Yeah,
but I do want to watch the OG too, just to like have the background, you know? Okay. So, back to our thoughts. Isabel, cold energy. Don't understand why Rick likes her.
Yeah, she definitely comes across a little cold. I like the playfulness between them, but I don't feel like we get a great sense of their relationship beyond this moment in time. And this moment in their relationship where she's really focused on, you know, her search for vampires. But I agree, she does come across cold.
Yeah, there's just something about her.
I mean, she usually plays cold characters.
Yeah, so you were saying that
which probably means she's like the warmest person in the world, because I feel like that
usually ends up being like the way. Yeah, because you were saying that because she's like not great in the L word either, right?
She's the worst. Jenny is the worst.
Another show I need to watch.
All right. Our next scene, we're at Trudy's house. Elena and Trudy are looking through an old yearbook, pointing out a picture of her, and she points out a picture of her and Isabel. She tells Elena that they were starved, or more like Isabel was, but she was a damn good backup. Elena's genuinely thrilled to be learning more about her birth mother and thanks Trudy. Trudy then points out to Elena that she hasn't touched her tea. Elena goes to take a sip, but notices a specific smell and asks Trudy what it is. Trudy responds that it's just an herbal mixture, which Elena calls out to be vervain. Trudy doesn't respond to this. Elena then calls out to Trudy that she knows about vampires, but Trudy plays dumb. Elena goes on to say that she didn't formally invite Elena in and that she's serving her vervain tea. Instead of answering this, Trudy tells Elena that she should probably leave, but Elena presses, asking what Trudy isn't telling her. Trudy is distressed and tells Elena to leave again. Elena obliges and leaves in a hurry, but as she's walking back to her car and grabbing keys from her purse, she sees a man standing suspiciously in the middle of the road. Elena quickly unlocks the door and drives off as the man slowly walks down the street towards where Elena was parked.
I don't know.
Shifty Trudy.
Shifty Trudy. I mean, like, well, why was she so skittish if she, like Elena was passing the smell tests of the vampire smell tests that she was putting out. So it's like, so why were you being so weird? I don't know. Like, again, it's kind of just back to, like, what were saying in the previous scene. Like, what do we think about, like, what was Trudy trying to accomplish in this moment?
Yeah. So, I mean, she's very, like, flip-floppy. She's, like, warm. She's cold. She's awkward. She's not. And obviously, you know, she doesn't formally invite Elena in. She gives her vervain tea. So, you know, she's not a vampire. And this also ensures that Elena's not under compulsion, right? Because she sips the tea.
But wait a minute. But would vervain break a compulsion if someone's under?
Yes.
Does it?
Yeah.
Wait, really? Like, if I was under compulsion and I drank vervain tea, it would, like, put me back to normal?
I don't think it would put you back to normal, but when Stefan puts vervain in Caroline's drink, we see her start to come back to herself.
That's true.
So you would start to, like, I think it would be visible in that moment.
Be, like, harder for it to take hold, I guess,
if Trudy was like, why are you here, Elena? Like, I think I think
I wish
that's
that
what
they, like, I don't know, does that ever get, like, I don't think that ever really
I don't
gets,
know
like,
that
explored,
really.
but that would have been a cool thing to be, like, it's almost like an antidote to compulsion. That would have
Yeah.
been cool.
Yeah.
Like, if they had that more, like, out front in the lore, even if it maybe kind of naturally was.
Right. And we also are in, like, explaining a lot of this that the show never explains.
Yeah, for sure.
But I feel like Trudy wanted to make sure she wasn't a vampire, she wasn't under compulsion. So I'm like, is this maybe because Trudy's worried for her safety? Or is she trying to make sure there aren't any ulterior motives for Elena being there? But I really don't know. I do think it is strange, like, beyond her not officially inviting Elena in and Elena passing that test. I just kind of think at that point, like, what do you think this teenage girl's going to do to you? You know she's not a vampire.
And you know what? I feel like maybe we can litigate this a little more in our spoiler sode this week.
Yeah.
So if you want to tune into our spoiler sode, you can follow along with us there, because I feel like as I'm thinking about this, we could maybe have a little bit more time to unpack it there.
For sure.
All right. Shall we move on to any other things on that? All right. Moving on. Daytime drinking. It's all the rage. We are at Mystic Grill. All right. Here we go. Alaric is sitting at the bar drinking when Damon sits next to him, still sauced. Man, he's been going hard. And asks for a bourbon. He makes a cheeky remark about Rick needing to grade papers, and Rick says it's more fun with a buzz. Damon, I was about to say demon. Demon, I mean, like, kind of words. Damon agrees and says most things in life are. Sober's depressing. Rick tells Damon that he doesn't strike him as someone who gets depressed, and Damon, amused by this, says Rick's saying this like someone who knows saying this like someone who knows him being Damon. But Rick says it's just a hunch and tells Damon to have a good afternoon and leaves. Sheriff Forbes approaches Damon as soon as Rick leaves and tells him she needs a favor after commenting on his day drinking. My God. Damon disregards the question and asks her if she's ever been in love with someone so much only to have your heart ripped out by them. And we obviously know he's talking about Katherine. And then Sheriff Forbes reminds Damon that she was married. Damon completes the thought that Sheriff Forbes' ex-husband is gay. Happy Pride to Caroline's dad and Steven. Bill Forbes and Steven. Happy Pride to you both. And he orders a drink and asks her to sit down. She asks Damon to participate in a fundraiser and that the council is throwing later in the evening. And this is where the town's most eligible bachelors get raffled off for dates. They're short a bachelor, and she says that he's single and a catch. Damon makes a joke asking if this is what they do when they're not hunting vampires, and Liz jokes that she misses the vampires. She then tells Damon that he's here to the town and that Carol Lockwood won't let her live it down if she comes up empty-handed for another bachelor. So Damon agrees to it. Damon then uses this as an opportunity to ask for a favor of his own to see if the sheriff can look up Alaric for him. He tells her there's something off about the history teacher and he wants to make sure the high school did their homework on him. She agrees and leaves him with her unfinished drink and heads out because she's a woman on a mission. This scene is wild. Okay, so some thoughts. All right, Rick and Damon's frenemy thing is cute. I kind of ship them, and my focus is, I mean, yes, I do love Rick and Jenna too, but forget Katherine for now. This is the ship I'm focused on. TTFN
and Katherine.
TTFN Katherine. I'm focused on this. Also, after watching this episode a few times, I love how the sheriff, Liz, gotta love you, Liz, is just glossing over the fact that Damon is absolutely wasted in the middle of the day. And then she's just like, yeah, we'll still have him as a bachelor for the raffle, to raffle off to someone in the town. Like, it's truly I'm just, could you just could you imagine? It's like, I mean, does his hotness just like transcend?
I mean, apparently.
I swear to God, like the way that like Damon gets forgiven on looks alone should be studied.
It should be studied.
Like,
I mean, we could study you.
like we got, like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you would be a great candidate to study for this because you have watched the show and you are team Damon, but you've never watched the show this closely.
Yes.
So you might be noticing things or not glossing over things in the way you would before.
Well, I'll be constructing my own journals, my own diaries, if you will, about Damon's, the way that everyone just glosses over what Damon does because he's hot.
Yeah.
I
gotta say, it's definitely not a good look for the only teacher in Mystic Falls to be day drinking, but I guess beggars can't be choosers, and Mystic Falls is beggars. Rick's also a bachelor, so doubly not good. And then, you know what? Thank you, Sheriff Forbes, for not drinking on duty.
The one person who is actually, I mean, she's also obviously working, but yeah, good for her. Good for her.
All right, our next scene. So I'm done. We're at Trudy's house. The doorbell rings. Trudy answers the door. The creepy man who's standing in the road is there. Trudy doesn't seem to recognize him, so she seems like pretty casual at first. But then he says, "Thank you for the text," and her demeanor immediately changes to alarm. She tells him she didn't tell Elena anything and that she kept her promise. She adds that Elena knew something, but he tells her that won't be a problem. And he says Elena, won't get any closer to the truth. Trudy asks if she's done, and he says yes. She seems relieved and goes to close the door when he grabs it. Trudy tells him that she doesn't invite him in, so he can't come in, but he tells her he's not a vampire, so he can. He forces the door open, and Trudy falls into the stairs. She says she doesn't understand because she did what she was told. She says, "I did my part," and the man replies, "And now I have to do mine." Trudy starts crawling and then running up the stairs. He pursues her and, grabbing her by the hair, throws her down them. She lands on the floor dead, blood spilling out from her head. The man slowly walks down the stairs and leaves. Sorry, Trudy.
Yikes.
Both watching it in the past and then my first watch for prepping this episode, I was convinced he was a vampire until that moment.
Yeah.
Like, I did not remember that he wasn't.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a really good reveal for us. They kind of lull us into thinking he probably is.
Yeah, it's just like the alt. Like they kind of did that with like Rick too earlier in the season, where it's just like kind of bringing shady new person around, and then like kind of we have to basically play a game of werewolf to know if they are a vampire. Well, I guess we're playing vampire, so just to find out who's who.
Yeah, definitely.
Why is Isabel having her best friend killed? Can't we just compel her to forget? Like, what is going on here? On to our next scene. Me, after too much stimulation, we're at the Mystic Falls town square. So Harper walks into the town square and looks around as people walk, skateboard, talk, etc. Intense music plays to show how overwhelming this 21st century shock is on him. He looks over at a bench where a woman sits. They exchange long looks as if they know each other or have shared knowledge. She nods her head, seemingly signaling him, and then he walks away.
I get overstimulated too, Harper.
I, too, am overstimulated by 21st century shock, and now it's just AI getting shoved down our throats. Hate.
All right, next scene. He's Damon. We are at the Salvatore boarding house. Elena in a trench coat. I just had to point that out.
And I did like that you had that as a thing, because I actually went after like reading that note. I was like, is she really wearing a trench coat? And then I had to pull it back to try to make sure I could see. You know, sometimes I don't know if this is just like my personal TV settings, but don't you think like the show is kind of lit a little dark at times?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And it makes it like kind of hard to see outfits in full at certain points, like unless we're in like a well lit like room or outside or something. So I was just something. So it's always sometimes when we're in like the house, especially the brother's house, it's just like
it's dark
hard to see in there.
Yeah, I do think Elena, it was a real missed opportunity to borrow Caroline's beret.
Oh my God, she would have
with that trench coat.
She would have looked so cute with the trench coat and beret.
Okay,
missed opportunities.
So Elena in a trench coat but no beret walks into Stefan's room calling his name. Damon walks out of Stefan's room shirtless. Damon ab count 4, which feels really light, but it's true. I looked back. Damon approaches Elena, getting super close to her and is being flirty, but she tells him he looks wrecked. He deflects by asking her if she's aware that he's one of the town's most eligible bachelors. He then turns around and walks up to the mirror and starts putting on his shirt. Elena asks how he's doing, and very Damon, he says, never better. She asks what he can do for her, making a joke that his newfound purpose is helping people. She tells him she's meeting Stefan so they can go to the fundraiser together. Damon is so sauced, he can't button his shirt, and he asks Elena to help him. Annoyed, she walks over and buttons his shirt. They're, of course, very, very close together.
Of course.
In the scene. She smiles and shares that she found out who her birth mother is. Damon is super rude and says, who cares?
I can't.
Elena is clearly upset by this. Damon adds, she left you, she sucks. They look at each other, and then Elena sees Stefan over Damon's shoulder and walks away from Damon. Damon tries to put a jacket on over his shirt, joking that it doesn't fit because he's had too many sorority girls. He tells Stefan an occasional sorority girl might help fill him out. He walks off, buttoning the rest of his shirt, showing he clearly can do it himself.
The worst.
Elena is irritated, saying to Stefan that Damon's fine. Stefan replies, he's Damon. Elena says maybe this heartache will remind Damon he has a heart, even if it doesn't beat. Stefan says he won't hold his breath.
Wait, she also, the way her line delivery is, and she's like, even if it doesn't beat. Like,
yeah, she's like so mad then. She then tells Stefan that she went to see Trudy. He asks how it was, and Elena tells him Trudy has vervain and clearly knows about vampires. She says it can't be a coincidence. Nothing in this episode is a coincidence.
No, this is an episode that is... Oh my God, okay.
Stefan says it isn't and shows her the photo Rick gave her of Isabel. He tells her everything Rick knows about vampires he learned from her, Isabel. He believes that she was killed by one. Elena's obviously shocked by this. Stefan tells her that he knows there's a lot Rick can tell her about her birth mother, but he asks if she'll hold off. She's confused and asks why, and Stefan acknowledges it's a big ask and then asks if she'll do that for him. She agrees. All right, a couple of things. So we've already seen in multiple scenes that Damon is quite literally, he's wrecked. He's drunk as a skunk. So this is proof that vampires can get drunk.
Even though Lexi said they couldn't. Here's my question then. And I wonder if it's, I don't think this is true. I think they just changed the lore. But I feel like maybe the older you are, vampires, it's harder to get drunk. No, I don't know. That would be like, or maybe it takes more. Or they just decided to change it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway. Or maybe it's a choice. They can decide if they want to feel drunk or not. Maybe. Who's
How do you feel about the Elena helping with the shirt thing?
I mean, it's just like a lot. I mean, it's so like it's icky, but I do like the print of the shirt.
I do think I agree, it's very icky. I think it's really interesting that Elena is so excited to tell Damon about her birth mom. Genuinely, I want to know why she thinks he would care. And it also just seems like a really weird moment to share that or expect a meaningful response from him. Like when he's drunk, when he's flirting with her, when he's super self-centered. And she's just like, let me tell you about my birth mom.
Yeah, I don't know. And it just feels, I feel odd. But then you do have a final thought here.
I'm over Stefan trying to protect Damon. I think he should, especially walking in on his girlfriend that close with his brother and his brother's half dressed. I 1000% would be like, hey, Elena, guess who killed your mom?
I mean, it is like
not that delivery.
I genuinely, and I'm sure this is something that we can definitely keep thinking about and talking about throughout the show. But like, it is so weird how like this isn't the first time that Stefan's like kind of looked to like Damon and Elena interacting kind of close and like doesn't do anything about it. And I don't know if it's because like Damon's so unstable that he just doesn't want to like call attention to it, so he just kind of like lets it play out so that there's no more potential like volatile moves made. Or I don't know, like what do you think about that? Sorry, that's just the thing that like came up in my head.
Yeah, it bothers me that he doesn't try to interject or at least like have a conversation with Elena
Yeah.
of like, hey, this makes me uncomfortable. Also, think about the last interactions Elena's had with Damon. He force-fed her his blood and then didn't give pertinent information about Anna, which allowed her to be kidnapped when she had vampire blood in her system.
Yep.
He also almost killed her in that moment, but then also said to Stefan, like, didn't help Stefan get her and said that he hoped she would die. Now, we know she doesn't know that piece. But, and then he leaves her in that fucking tomb,
Yeah.
right? So, like, this is not that long after that.
No, but then she also in that other episode goes over there to be like, we have something, you and me.
I know.
She's like,
She does not deserve Stefan. I'm gonna come in here and say, Elena Gilbert, you do not deserve Stefan Salvatore.
But like, you know what I mean though? It's like that all that stuff happened. She still goes over there to try to like get them to be on the same side when they're like trying to do the tomb business.
I honestly feel like maybe Stefan should just be like,
you know what?
like, you know what? I think I'm okay. And then like maybe that forces Elena to actually, you know, think about her actions. But.
It's so silly. I mean, like we know why it's here. It's adding the drama between these three. It's adding to like whatever. But it's interesting to see like in these episodes how it's being displayed.
Yes.
All right, on to our next scene. Unless you have any other thoughts. All right. Okay. Apologies and awkwardness. And we're at the Mystic Grill at the Bachelor Raffle. Here we go. Bachelor Raffle. Mrs. Lockwood announces that the raffle is open. Alaric, dressed in a suit, stands by the bar with a glass of bourbon. Jenna walks up to him and compliments him. After that, they go back and forth. He apologizes for earlier, saying that it was a shock to learn about his wife having a child that happens to be his new, maybe almost girlfriend's niece. They don't say it in those words, but when you really plot it out, it is a weird,
it's
complicated spiral. Jenna's sorry that she dropped it on him, and then she says maybe he and Elena could talk about it at some point, and Rick says that he doesn't know if that's a great idea, or at least not for a while, and Jenna actually respectfully does just like accept that as an answer, and I again appreciate her for like being understanding with Rick on this. And then in our next scene, we have the Real Housewives of Mystic Falls await. And we are back at the Salvatore boarding house. Damon asks Stefan where their girlfriend went. Okay, like what is happening?
I'd kill him.
It's okay. Okay, sorry. Stefan says she's, but then he doesn't. He just says she's on the way to the grill. Like he doesn't. All right, we're gonna have to keep. Okay, two things we have to keep track of now. I will be keeping track of this. Okay, important stuff. Just the way. Okay, the way that they just the Damon and Elena interact, the weirdness between those two, but then how Stefan just doesn't call attention to literally any of the stuff in which, like, I swear, if someone, I feel like. If anyone referred to us as their like girlfriend or partner to like either one of our husbands, they would get like a true like smack to the face. Yeah. Like I don't know. Okay. Anyway, a little bit of different circumstances, but still the sentiment is what I'm trying to get at here. Okay. So, eventually Damon is able to put on his jacket, and Stefan shows Damon the photo of Isabel from Rick and asks if Damon remembers her now with the visual prompt. Damon wants to know who wants to know, and Stefan says he does. Damon, not buying this, asks who else wants to know. Stefan deflecting, asking if Damon killed her. He says, sorry, don't know her. And he starts to walk away, asking Stefan if he's coming because he says, and then he just ends with saying, the Real Housewives of Mystic Falls await. Oh, man.
So sometimes, Stefan, you just got to spit it out, right? Like,
why are we skirting around?
Damon's not buying what you're putting out.
No.
I also literally laughed out loud at this line from Damon, and I especially love it since I'm working my way through The Real Housewives of Orange County right now, from the beginning. I'm in season 16 now, and I started at the beginning of the year.
How many seasons of Real Housewife Orange County?
I'm in like 2021 or 2022 right now, so I still have a few more seasons.
I think of this may have been brought up on like the podcast before, but like I'm not a reality TV watcher. Like that's just not my vibe. And I don't like no shade, no knock to it, just something I've never gotten into.
Yeah.
Even though like I mean I like on the fringe, like I'm aware of like what they are, but I had not known until this moment that there were that many seasons of just that one.
Well, that's the first one.
Because there's other places.
There's many others. I haven't watched most of them. I just started after like 20 years, started watching the show again from the beginning. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
How old was it? When did it start?
2005, I think.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember it being around because what was it on, like E? Or
it's
like
Bravo.
Bravo. Oh,
Andy Cohen. It's Bravo.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would you watch The Real Housewives of Mystic Falls?
I would absolutely watch The Real Housewives of Mystic Falls, and also like, why is Carol Lockwood at the center? Like, she has to be like the like primary. The way I was thinking about it, I just for the like minimal amount of reality TV, and maybe I'm wrong, and everyone can correct me. Would Carol Lockwood be like like Vanderpump? What's Vanderpump Rules? What does she do? Lisa.
Yeah, she could be Vanderpump Rules.
Because she's like in charge, right? Because isn't she like in charge of like them all? Like, isn't that what happens on Vanderpump Rules?
Well, she's literally the owner of a restaurant.
Okay, that's what I thought. But they all work for her.
These are all Carol Lockwood's peasants.
But that's how she acts on the show.
She absolutely does.
Because she's like Mrs. Mayor, but not the mayor. So she acts like everyone works for her. I feel like it's that. We got there.
I love it. I love it. Stay tuned for The Real Housewives of Mystic Falls coming to your TV soon. All right, next scene, total cougar bait. Move it. It's perfect segue for Carol Lockwood. We are at Mystic Grill at the Bachelor Raffle. Caroline, Matt, and Elena stand together by the ticket station. Caroline tells Elena that Matt has already been hit on like 35 times and he's total cougar bait. Mrs. Donovan walks up then, and Caroline immediately says hi, all cheerfully. Mrs. Donovan ignores her, instead saying hi to Elena and giving her a big hug. Elena calls Kelly by her first name, and they catch up for a minute before Kelly says, Maddie tells me you, as in Elena, broke his heart. Matt is not happy about this, and his mom says she's just kidding. Then she adds, he found his rebound girl. She hands Caroline, who she refers to patronizingly as Sweetheart, money for raffle tickets. Matt is clearly frustrated by his mom's behavior. Caroline hands her tickets and smiles at her even after she said all that. Elena looks at Mrs. Donovan walk away, and then she spies Rick at the bar. They share a glance before Rick walks away. Elena turns back to Matt and Caroline. Meanwhile, Damon and Mrs. Lockwood flirt. He suggests that she rig the raffle so that they can go on a date. Sheriff Forbes walks in with a file in hand, and Damon excuses himself from Carol. The sheriff says that Alaric checks out. She shares, though, that it's a tough story. His wife went missing a few years ago in North Carolina. Damon asks if she has a name, and Liz says Isabel, showing a photo of Isabel Fleming's driver's license. Damon looks over at Rick, who is talking to two ladies, two cougars for sure. Okay. Matt's mom is so mean to Caroline.
Truly so mean.
And no one says anything, right? No. Like, Matt only says, like, mom, when she makes the comment about Elena breaking his heart. This really pisses me off. And Caroline is just trying to keep it together and make a good impression, and I really feel for her, right? Like, she's just like, hi, Mrs. Donovan.
I hate it.
It's just like no one deserves to be talked to that way. I will give Matt some points, even though he doesn't speak up for her, because after Kelly makes the comment of Caroline being his rebound girl, he immediately is like looking at her like concerned. So I'm like, okay, he's at least like aware that that's a shitty thing to say, but like Elena doesn't say anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just such a, like, I just hate the way that she just, like, shrugged her off, right? She, like, shrugs off Caroline even though Caroline's actively trying, and it's just
Mhm.
like, woman, lady. She's trying to, like, be so polite. Like, you're so
Right.
rude. But also, like, I guess to kind of go into, like, the Elena of it all, like, Elena being chummy to Kelly, like, makes it so much worse.
Right.
Because it's just, poor Caroline through these episodes has just continually has had to, like, just be basically in Elena's shadow for like all of this, especially when it revolves around Matt, and just to see Matt's mom act that way towards Matt's ex, and it just being like, it's so
It's
icky.
so Elena.
It is so Elena. It really is.
And then you had one thing about Elena and Rick.
Oh yeah, I mean, she's just like, don't do it, girl. Do not go over there. It's
Right.
like, I had to look back because I was like, Stefan definitely told her to not, and she looks like she's ready to try, but then
he's just like, bye.
he sees himself right out from that potential, like, beeline, and I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway,
Mrs. Lockwood loves herself some Damon, even when he's like basically falling over. He's that drunk.
Yeah, I mean, again, just glossing over just because he's that hot, doesn't care if he's fucking wasted. All right, next scene, jabs and biting reveals. Oh, I like that one. We're at Mystic Falls, still at the grill. Mystic Falls, we are at Mystic Falls. We are at, oh my God. We are at Mystic Falls Grill still, and it's still the Bachelor Raffle. Okay. Did I say bachelor? Whatever, it's okay. Mrs. Lockwood interviews each of the bachelors one by one, and in the audience, we see Elena and Jenna sitting together having fun. Stefan has just arrived and is making his way through the crowd while Carol is interviewing Rick and asking what he does for work. He says he teaches history, and like she asks for a fun little fact about Mystic Falls, and she says, say something crazy. Oh my God. And he looks at Damon and hesitates. Carol takes the microphone away and says that he's probably saving his best stories for the date. Last but not least, she interviews Damon, and she says they don't have a lot of information on him, and says he's hard. He says he's hard to fit on a card. Damon. Carol asks if he has hobbies or likes to travel, and he says he does, mentioning LA, New York, and then a couple years ago he was in North Carolina near the Duke campus when he turns to Rick saying that he thinks Rick went to school there, and he adds, I know your wife did. Everybody's in the crowd. Stefan looks at Elena, worried. Elena's face begins to falter. Stefan makes his way through the crowd after her or to her after Damon says he had a drink with her, Rick's wife, at one point in time when he was at Duke, and adds that she was delicious. Ew. Also, like, just, okay. Elena is in shock, and Jenna asks if she's okay, but she says she needs to get air. She heads outside, and Stefan follows. Elena asks Stefan if Damon is the vampire who killed her mother, and Stefan tells her he doesn't know because Alaric said they never found the body. He says he wanted to tell her, but he wanted to know more first. Elena says she was feeling sorry for Damon, hoping the whole Katherine thing would change him, and she calls herself stupid. Stefan tells her Damon doesn't know about the connection between Isabel and Elena, and that he thought about telling him, but Damon is on edge, and Elena, rightfully upset, asks why Stefan is protecting him, and he says because you're not the only one, hoping he might actually change. Elena notices a man watching them and tells Stefan that it's the creepy guy from Trudy's. He tells her they should go back inside. Jeez.
What a scene. Okay, Mrs. Lockwood, your classism is showing again. When she interviews Bachelor 3, which we didn't talk about because it's like a quick note before they get to Rick, but she asks what he does for work. He says he's a plumber, and she makes a comment about how we can always use more plumbers. The fact is we really can, and they get paid really well.
Like,
so
what?
Shut up, Carol.
Bye, Carol.
And he looked cute, too.
Yes, he did. It was just, like, so weird. I was just like, ew, Carol, like, why?
Right.
Like,
and she asked him no follow-up questions, and then with Rick, she like asks him, 2 questions, and when he doesn't respond right away, she takes the microphone away from him. So why does she let Damon talk for this long when he's clearly taunting Rick and not actually talking about himself? And where is Sheriff Forbes, right? Like, she was just there to give him the file. and obviously was helping to organize this. So I just feel like this would be a moment where she'd be like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have given this mysterious day drinking civilian information on a resident of Mystic Falls. My next thing, Elena, why do you care about Damon changing? Put your energy elsewhere. Genuinely anywhere else. Maybe on your beautiful husband, your beautiful boyfriend.
If only
Put
she,
a ring
if only
on
she
it.
could be so lucky. Oh my god, just yeah, and then the creepy guy outside. Wait, was that it, or was there another one?
What about why is Elena so aghast?
Oh yeah, like that. Yeah, why? Like yeah, why is she like confused that Damon could potentially be behind? Like, why is this? Like, why is this not so? Why is she still surprised by things that he does that are bad? Also, like, that happened before she knew him. Like, that's not that weird. Like, why would she be so distraught over that? I mean, I guess maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
The last time she and Stefan and Damon were at the grill together, he killed Lexi. This girl has amnesia. Her concussion has left lasting damage.
Lasting damage. I mean, again, because she drank while she was also concussed. So yeah, she really just doesn't have it. She's lost it.
And then yes, my last thing is, why doesn't Stefan say anything to the creepy guy? Just being like, go back inside. I like, in my mind, even though I've watched this episode so many times, I'm expecting every time he like sends her inside and then he goes up to the guy, but he does not.
Nope.
All right. Next scene. Everyone's done now. We are at the grill, still at the Bachelor Raffle. Back inside, Carol announces the winners of the raffle. Bachelor number 3 goes to Kelly Donovan, who stumbles her drunk ass over to Caroline for her ticket, to Carol for her ticket. There is no love lost between those two. Carol makes a jab about Kelly and the plumber having so much fun. She takes the ticket then over to Caroline. They really should have diversified these names a little bit.
Yeah.
Who congratulates her. Kelly says to Caroline, stop trying so hard. This thing you're doing, this nice thing, it's fake. Like you, like your mom. And for some reason, Matt fell for it. But that doesn't mean that I will. I don't like you, okay? She then tells her to tell Plumber Boy she'll be at the bar. Caroline is crestfallen. Elena is walking through the grill, clearly upset and shaken. She runs into Damon. He makes a joke about her buying a ticket like everyone else. She asks him if he enjoyed rubbing it into Alaric. Damon's confused by her anger. She says, just as I was starting to think there was something redeemable about you. Stefan comes up trying to stop her. Damon asks if he's missing something. Elena, with tears in her eyes, says, did I forget to mention earlier when we were talking about my birth mother, the one that gave me up? Damon says yes. She tells him her name was Isabel. Damon's face falters. She tells him to go ahead, reminisce about how you killed her, and walked away. Damon and Stefan share a look. Stefan's is clearly one of disappointment. He walks away, and Damon is visibly upset with himself. Stefan follows Elena outside and says he'll take her home. She stops in her tracks because the creepy guy is back and tells Elena he has a message for her. Stefan steps in front of her and asks who he is. The man says, stop looking. She doesn't want to know you. She doesn't want to talk to you. Elena asks if he means Isabel. The man repeats that she has to stop looking. Elena asks if she's alive, putting together that this means that Isabel's probably a vampire. Stefan tells her that the man is under compulsion. The man asks again if she understands, and when Elena says yes, he says good. He looks to the right and then back at them, telling them, I'm done now. He steps backward and gets hit by a truck. Stefan holds Elena as we see the body of the man go under the tire.
A lot happening, a lot going down. But Carol Lockwood's open besmirching of the plumber is something I will not have or go for.
Yeah, no.
And like,
he's not going to come and fix her pipes the next time.
No, I hope he clogs them. Reverse.
Tells all his, I don't know how many plumbers there could be in town, but
the
tell
plumber
all
network.
the other plumbers.
Yeah, just, don't use the Drano this time. Actually, I don't know if they use Drano, but it's okay. Okay, Kelly is a bitch and Caroline isn't being like fake at all. Like, also, Sheriff Forbes doesn't even give off fake energy. So like, where is Kelly getting this shit from? Like, right. Honestly, because like neither of them give that up. I mean, like Caroline has like that more bubbly like energy that could maybe read like a little fake, but in the moments that she's exchanged with this woman, that it's kind. And
Yeah.
she's just judging, like, Kelly's just judging her off of her mom.
Right.
Who isn't fake.
Right.
Anyway. Oh, yeah. Also, do we need to start counting how many times Elena gets mad at Damon, but then also doesn't do anything about it? It just goes back to my field study.
I don't know if I'll have hair left if we start counting that. I think I'll rip it all out.
And this is another senseless killing of a man.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Next scene, vampire crap. Mystic Grill. After a commercial break, Stefan and Elena run into the road. The man is definitely dead. Elena finds his cell phone and pockets it. The two of them leave. Onlookers scream in reaction to the accident. A normal response. Can't say the same for the people inside the grill, because they're completely oblivious to what's happening right outside. Carol continues to raffle off them bachelors, and Jenna gets Rick. Surprise, surprise. Carol gets Damon. She looks around the room for him, but he's not there. Rick also looks for him, and then Rick tells Jenna he's going to call her later, and as he walks away, he pauses thinking about his wife, and this goes right into a flashback of him and Isabel arguing. Rick wants her to let this vampire crap go. He then tells her it's become an obsession, and she says that it's important to her. He asks why, and to make him understand. She doesn't say anything, though. And he then asks what's the point of marriage if she's never home and she doesn't want kids. And he wants them to be like normal people. And Isabel says, maybe I don't want to. Maybe I want more. Back in the present, Alaric walks out of the grill. Elena, stealing from a crime scene. That's evidence. What the hell, girl?
Yeah, when Stefan's like, let's get out of here. I'm like, you guys are witnesses.
You're witnesses to this crime. Not crime. Well, I mean, a crime, murder. I don't know. Crime. It's a crime scene. It's a crime scene.
To the suicide. To whatever like, this is. Yeah.
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 Like, not that, you know what I mean. Like, it's like it's a scene that a distressing thing occurred and it will need to be investigated. And why are we also stealing from it?
Right.
And it's also wild that no one's been alerted inside on what happened. And, like, why did Carol enter the raffle when she's fucking married? And then I have my other notice. This feels like a Real Housewife move.
It does.
Does that feel like something would happen in Real Housewives?
Or definitely The Desperate Housewives, which I loved that TV show. Desperate Housewives, loved it. It doesn't look like Rick and Isabel wanted the same things.
No, they had nothing in common. They don't seem like they do, at least.
Yeah. All right. Next scene, You're All I Have Left. We're at the Donovan house. Matt brings his drunk mom home from the grill and deposits her on the couch. She tells him he's the best, and he says, I know. She apologizes for being gone so long, and Matt asks why she's really home. She shares that Pete left her, and she blames herself, saying it's all her fault. I did it. I always do it. Matt tells her it's not her fault. She tells him he's all she has left, and crying says, please don't leave me. He tells her he's not going anywhere. She touches Matt's face and smiles. She lays down on the couch, and he tucks her in with a blanket. So this is a really tough scene. Kelly's distraught. She's lonely. She's self-loathing. A lot of things we will remember from when Vicky was still here.
Yeah.
And Matt has to clean up her mess just like he did with his sister. It feels very, as we've already talked about, like mother, like daughter.
Yeah. I mean, Kelly just needs therapy, and so does Matt. The codependency is genuinely actually soul-crushing to me. It's, like, really sad.
Yeah.
So PSA, parents out there, don't dump shit onto your children. Let them just be kids, and you need to work your own fucking shit out with a trained professional, or at the very least, your own confidants that are not your children. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah. My last is just a quick, like, and I know she's very drunk, but, like, why doesn't Kelly go sleep in a bed?
Like, I don't know. My one thing I thought was that maybe she was just, like, was that drunk. She was ready to pass the fuck out. And Matt...
They had, like, this conversation where it seems like she has some clarity.
But, no, that's true. But you know what? Actually, if I were Matt, I would have left her on the fucking couch, too, to be honest. Even though it is sad. Like, it is a sad thing. But still, I would probably just be like, all right, I don't have time. I just can't deal with this anymore. I gotta go. Okay. Next scene, Mystic Falls' most eligible bachelor's bra. Love it. We're at the Salvatore boarding house. Damon walks across the living room to go get some bourbon. A lot of bourbon here. Quietly, Alaric enters the room with a stake in his hand. Damon asks if he's really this stupid and turns to face Rick and says, "Guess so," before sipping his drink. They look at each other before Damon vamp runs at Alaric and hits him, throwing him across the room. Alaric lands on the floor by the fireplace and gets back up to fight. The two square off, walking around the room, waiting for the other one to attack. Damon asks if he's going to put the stake down, but Alaric ignores his question, asking where Isabel is. Damon says, "You want me to tell you I killed her? Would that make you happy? Because I think you know what happened." Rick says he saw Damon feeding on her. Damon says, yes, he did feed on her, and he wasn't lying. She was delicious, obviously trying to taunt Rick. Rick lunges for him, and Damon hits him in the stomach, sending Rick to the floor. Damon confesses that he turned Isabel into a vampire. Rick asks why, and Damon says, she came to me all pathetic, looking for vampires. There was something about her, something I liked. There was something special. Rick says, you turned her because you liked her? And Damon says, no, I slept with her because I liked her. I turned her because she begged me to. Yeah, but you knew that too, didn't you? I guess she wasn't happy at home. Wasn't happy with life in general. Wasn't happy with you. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Rick lunges at Damon, and this time Damon grabs the stake from Alaric's hand and stabs him in the chest, puncturing his lung. Rick cries out in pain, and Damon holds him, twisting the stake in further, saying they're kindred spirits, abandoned by the women they loved. He removes the stake from Rick's chest, and Rick gasps for breath. Damon says he gets to watch Alaric die. And on the floor in front of the fireplace, Rick struggles to breathe, his hands on his chest, and Damon casually picks up his drink and sits on the couch as Alaric Saltzman dies. Damn.
What a scene. Okay, so it is truly so weird that Damon killed, turned, and fucked Elena's mom. He did everything but marry her. You know,
Crazy.
Fuck, marry, kill. He did everything but the marry. The way he taunts Rick in this scene and mercilessly kills him and then watches him die is just awful. So fuck you, Damon. I know Rick was coming for you, but truly you've killed people like Bree for much less. And Rick never stood a chance, so just frickin' hold him until just put him in the dungeon until the vervain, if he's even ingesting it, we've seen him hold it, but vervain's out of his system and you can just compel him.
Yeah, to just forget that he's gone, and it's just I don't really understand why any of this is happening.
Yeah. And then what I thought was interesting is Damon foreshadows killing someone in this episode at the beginning when he's talking to Stefan, and Stefan's asking about the sorority girls, and he says he hasn't killed anyone in in too long.
Yeah.
And then, ends the episode killing someone.
But yeah, it's just I mean, it's just again, I just don't really understand what they're doing with Damon. I don't know. We can talk about it more later, but
all right, next scene. A ring to ward off the demons. We are still at the Salvatore boarding house. Stefan comes home to find Damon sipping bourbon over Alaric's dead body. He runs over asking Damon what happened and says, what did you do? Stefan checks on Rick, but he's dead. Flip it. Damon says Rick attacked him and he told the truth. It's not his fault. He couldn't handle it. Stefan throws back at him like you've been handling Katherine.
Snap.
Damon says he's handling it fine. He then tells Stefan that she came to him and that if Isabel is related to Elena, then she's related to Katherine. He thinks maybe Katherine sent Isabel to him.
Oh my God.
Stefan tells him he needs to stop and that he doesn't have to keep looking for her. Damon is convinced it's not a coincidence. He puts his drink down, points at Rick's body, and says, I'm assuming you'll take care of this. He leaves the room. Stefan, with tears in his eyes, sits by Rick as somber music plays. But then he notices that Rick's fingers are moving. Confused, Stefan leans closer. Suddenly, Rick gasps for breath, and he's alive.
Rick.
He asks what happened, and Stefan is at a loss for words. He asks if Damon turned Rick, and Rick says no. I went for him, and he stabbed me. Stefan is certain Rick has vampire blood in his system, but Rick says no, it's something else. Realization dawns on his face, and he looks at his ring, and he says, Isabel. We move to a flashback of Isabel giving Rick a box with the ring in it. She tells him to say it's a family heirloom. He asks where she got it, and she says he would laugh at her if she told him. She asks him to promise to always wear it, saying it'll protect you from all the things that go bump in the night. He makes a joke about it warding off demons, and she says to consider it a token of her love and apology for being so crazy lately. He agrees that she has been crazy as he puts on the ring. Isabel tells him, I'm selfish and I'm obsessed and I'm a horrible wife, but you love me anyway. He says he does. Back in the present, he tells Stefan that the ring protected him. Stefan sits back and says that's impossible. Rick agrees. All right, so yay, Rick isn't dead.
Yes, thank goodness.
So glad. This ring is mysterious and magical. I can't wait to learn more. I do think it's interesting that Rick didn't know what the ring would do. So when he's so worried in a previous episode about losing the ring, I think it's just because it was from his dead wife.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. But yeah, I do love that it like was planted earlier in the thing, and I think I have a thing to talk about that like later in our final thought section. But another magical item so far, we have had daylight rings, a compass, which might be science apparently, but magical or science, who knows? They were flip-flopping on that. Emily's necklace and grimoire, and now Rick's, which I like to call, which is very D&D of me, Rick's ring of the undying. But I don't know, is there anything I missed in terms of magical items that we've come across in the show so far?
No, I think that's it so far.
Nice. I love a magical item. So
yes, love. There definitely seems to be more warmth and tenderness between Isabel and Rick in this scene, and she seems to genuinely love him and want to protect him. Ironies of irony that the vampire that turned her kills her husband.
Yeah.
I didn't write this down, but I was thinking about when she's like, I'm selfish and obsessed and like all the stuff. It kind of reminded me of some of the flashbacks we've seen with Catherine, where she is like saying to Stefan, like, I'm spoiled and I'm selfish. And I'm like, well, you are related.
Tude and selfish.
And beautiful dark hair.
Beautiful. I mean, that is one that gets to traverse through the gene pool. Okay. Next scene. Mommy, it's me, Elena. We're at the Gilbert residence. Sitting on her bed, Elena looks at a photo of her parents. And she's also with them in the photo. She looks at the cell phone she took from the dead creepy guy and dials the last number he called. A woman answers, asking if there was a problem and if he found her. Elena says, one word, Isabel. And the line clicks. Emotional, and Elena closes the phone.
So this is so ballsy, and I just want to know if you think you would call your birth mother in this situation.
Oh, I would. Yeah. Hands down. Absolutely. I would want to know.
I would want to know, but I don't know if I'd have the guts to do it right then and there. But
yeah, I would. I would just be like, we're already, my boyfriend's a vampire. I'm already too deep in this shit. I gotta know.
Yeah, fair. All right. So our next and final scene of episode 15. Any friend of Pearl's is a friend of mine. We're at a house in the woods. A man walks down a path through the woods. Arriving at a house, we see it's Harper. He knocks on the door, and the woman from the town square answers. They nod at each other. She then calls to Pearl, saying, it's Harper. Pearl and Anna walk over the door, and Pearl says she's glad he found them. The owner of the house, a human under compulsion, comes over. Pearl tells her this gentleman is her friend and asks if he can come in. Miss Gibbons invites him in. As he steps inside, Pearl tells Annabelle to close the door. Cue credits.
Dun, dun, dun. A vampire nest in Mystic Falls. Nothing could go wrong here.
Nothing could go wrong there.
Also, like, if I were Anna, I don't think I'd be having my mom, who's only lived in the modern world for, like, a day, be in charge. I think that, like, you know, she, like, why is Pearl the HBIC, aka head bitch, in charge? Why is that? I mean, I know she's, like, her mom, but I would feel like Anna would be somebody that would be more in charge, given the fact that all of these people are all 145 years behind in the times.
Yeah, I mean, we'll explore that more in the upcoming episode when we get to see more of them, but I think it's just like Pearl maybe hasn't progressed as much in the time she's been, you know, desiccated. And
I mean, she still has her like mother's mentality, but still I'm like, Anna, girl, what? But hey, we'll find out more. But for now, That's it for our deep dive, and we're going to move right along to some folklore. All right, we're going to get into some folklore.
Yes.
So, for this week's folklore, we're going to take a jaunt into some pseudoscience. Since we've learned a little bit more about Isabel in this episode, we thought it would be fun to talk about parapsychology. Do you know?
Yeah.
Go for it.
We learned from Rick in episode 12 on Pleasantville that Isabel studied parapsychology at Duke and researched paranormal activity specifically in Mystic Falls. From this week's episode, we can surmise that this is what likely prompted her into researching vampires.
According to Wikipedia, parapsychology is the study of alleged psychic phenomena, extrasensory perception, telepathy, teleportation, precognition, clairvoyance, psychokinesis, also called telekinesis, and psychometry, and other paranormal claims. For example, those related to near-death experiences, synchronicity, apparitional experiences, etc. It's been criticized as being a pseudoscience, and the majority of mainstream science ultimately reject it. But parapsychology has been, um, like, criticized even further for continuing investigation, despite being unable to provide reproducible evidence for the existence of any psychic phenomena after more than a century of research. So just like a little bit about that. I mean, fun that we are seeing that some of parapsychology has to do with some points that we have already touched on in our folklore with and just like learning about clairvoyance, precognition and stuff. So like, I don't know, was that surprising to you at all to like learn that that's what that stuff? I mean, I guess because I never really like thought about the definition of parapsychology. I don't know. Maybe you have, but
I didn't specifically know the like textbook definition, but I understood what it was.
Yeah. Like I just like it was just interesting to like I was like, okay, like I mean it's not crazy to I mean it's easy to kind of be like, oh yeah, well obviously that's what it is. But it was just kind of fun to see it all spelled out, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. So, with all that Brenna just shared in mind, here's some interesting facts we have for you regarding parapsychology, thanks to Wikipedia. In parapsychology, psi, is that how you say that? Okay. PSI, psi is the unknown factor in extrasensory perception and psychokinesis experiences that is not explained by known physical or biological mechanisms. The term is derived from psi, the 23rd letter of the Greek alphabet, and the initial letter of the Greek psyche, meaning mind or soul. The term was coined by biologist Bertold Weisner and first used by psychologist Robert Toulouse. I hope that's how I'm saying that.
Yeah.
In a 1942 article published in the British Journal of Psychology.
Yeah. So I think because like psi, I think it's because it's the little like just as for a visual, like it's like the little kind of like trident fork for psi. Like that's like what it looks like in the Greek alphabet.
Yeah.
Just for folks that want to just another visual, but that's an interesting like just learning a little bit about the root about that. Okay. So the Parapsychological Association divides psi into two main categories: psi gamma for extrasensory perception and psi kappa for psychokinesis. In popular culture, psi has become more and more synonymous with extraordinary psychic, mental, and psionic abilities and powers. So, like, just to throw in a little pop culture reference, like we've got Jean Grey from X-Men. I'm trying to think of other. I mean, we got 11 from Stranger Things. Has a little bit of that going on. Wanda Maximoff in a way, sort of, even though her stuff is more rooted in like actual magic. But those are just some people that have a little bit of like psychokinetic powers.
Prue.
Prue, yeah.
From the Charmed one.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Because Prue.
Prue can move things with her mind and do all kinds of things like that. And then Phoebe does have the power of premonition.
Premonition. Well, because then with oh yeah, so she would be more so Phoebe would be more psi gamma then, right? And then
Yeah,
I
her
guess the rest of
power's
them
not active.
right.
Yeah.
And then Prue's Shannon Doherty, right? Okay, yeah, because I totally
She
forgot
can
about.
move objects, open and close things,
What a
make
use-
people do things.
What a useful power.
It is really useful, yes.
Okay. On to our next stuff.
The Society for Psychical Research, SPR, was founded in London in 1882. Its formation was the first systemic effort to organize scientists and scholars to investigate paranormal phenomena. Early membership included philosophers, scholars, scientists, educators, and politicians. Interesting.
Isn't that interesting? I just sure.
People across all walks of life are interested in parapsychology.
Yeah, for real. So, okay. Areas of study under the umbrella of parapsychology included telepathy, hypnotism, Reichenbach's phenomena, which is energetic sensitivities, apparitions, hauntings, and the physical aspects of spiritualism, such as table tilting, another thing that we talked a little bit about in previous folklore episodes, materialization, and apportation. Have you ever heard? What is that? What is that?
Where objects appear, disappear, or move to a new location without any visible external influence. Apportation.
Like teleportation, but like, okay.
Well, they're like appearing out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah. So that's like just a different, but it has like a similar like root in the word. Okay. Cool. All right. So in the 1880s, the society investigated apparitional experiences and hallucinations in folks who were deemed sound of mind. So that's interesting. So they were like definitely trying to prove this and making sure that anybody that they were studying who maybe possessed any kinds of these abilities were of sound mind and not like experiencing some kind of like mental health condition that would lead them to maybe have appearances of like extrasensory perceptions.
Parapsychology.
I know it's like really there's the names in this are tough.
The Parapsychological Association, PA, was created in Durham, North Carolina on June 19th, my birthday, but in 1957.
See, look, happy birthday month. And birthday week.
Yeah, birthday week. J.B. Rhine proposed its formation at a parapsychology workshop held at the Parapsychology Laboratory of Duke University. So we can see why the writers might have had Isabel and Alaric studying at Duke to incorporate this field of study there. That is a really neat.
Isn't that fun?
Fun fact.
Very cool. Parapsychology is, though, no longer taught at Duke, but when J.B. Rhine retired in 1965, he opened the nonprofit, the Rhine Research Center, to continue this work independently. The Rhine Education Center, which is part of the Research Center, currently provides professional online courses and certifications in scientific parapsychology, and public events at the Rhine explore psychic abilities, experiences, techniques, and the culture of ESP throughout the world.
Super interesting.
Do we need to go get certified?
Yeah, we absolutely do. I was, I think it's the University of Virginia.
Yes, there's another, university
that has focus in parapsychology, because when I was in Charlottesville this past year, I didn't tour the campus, but I went on a ghost tour, and they were talking about the connection between Edgar Allan Poe and UVA, and about like people believing it's haunted and that being something that is studied there. So
that's so cool. Yeah, it was like Virginia, and there was one other school that I think still does. I didn't call them out just because I kind of like centered our stuff on Duke just because of the Duke connection for the show. But yeah, I think today there's only like a couple like actual universities that still actually study like with their universities. But just as like a kind of like to keep it in the time, like parapsychology grew in like in popularity in the 1970s and the 1980s, with more institutions joining that, like the PA.
I wonder if that's in part because of like satanic panic and
I
like
think
if
so.
that connected it. And then just the last little thing is that today interest in the study has waned, and the work is mostly continued through private institutions and not so much on college campuses, right? Like we were talking about. And I think it makes a lot of sense. It's as we talked about when we did the episode in specifically talked about spiritualism, there are still many people who like spiritualism is the religious movement that they are a part of,
Yeah.
and they go to Lilydale, New York, and they learn how to become a medium and everything like that, but it is hard to prove it, and that's the thing that like you had read the part about repeatable results, right, are really hard.
Yeah.
And it's hard to prove that nothing else is influencing it, right? Or it's not because of a mental health or something else, right?
Yeah.
Or faulty wiring or whatever the thing is. And so I think it's a super fascinating field. And I don't want them to stop trying to like show the validity of it.
Yeah.
Because it's something I believe in.
Yeah.
But also part of what's always drawn me to this field is that you can study it, but it is eventually you just have to believe it, right? Like I feel like Mulder's a great example, since we have an X-Files reference, earlier in the episode, of like, yes, he studied everything, but he's also at his core a believer.
Yeah.
And I mean, literally that show is doing basically what we're talking about here. Like he's a believer and she is a scientist, and they're trying, like he's trying to convince her and she's trying to convince him it's the science. And sometimes there's unexplainable things that happen. And I feel like I exist in that realm of like things happen and there's no other way I could explain it, or I've had a personal experience that no one's ever going to be able to convince me wasn't paranormal.
Yeah. I mean, I completely agree with you, and I certainly, it's a bummer to know that it's like kind of waned over the years. But that's not going to stop me from having my beliefs.
No, it's not. And maybe we should go back to school.
Yeah, it's time to get certified in some of these fields of study. Well, and like it always reminds me, because like actually low key, that one like paranormal book that we read,
Guide to the Paranormal.
Yeah, which is Guide to the Paranormal. Loved that book when we read it. That was such a fun book club. Like
I left. It was a fun book club. I left, but this was for a witch book club that I used to host at the bookstore, and the book is available to order from a Novel Idea. But I finished reading that book, and I remember we were talking, and I was like, so like, should we start like professionally like
paranormal investigating? I think so.
And like cleansing people's homes of ghosts. And I know that we've both in an informal capacity done things like that for loved ones.
Yeah.
I recently helped someone with a possessed doll. So that was I love that you were able to do that. They're much happier together now.
I think that's how you know. And I know like that's like where for me it's like whenever there is kind of like a cleansing of sorts, or if we are like doing those, you can definitely tell those energetic shifts, which is like what I think back when I don't know, because I didn't like go too deep, and there was like so much more on this, and this is only kind of like just the true bird's eye view of it, because I didn't want to like we would be here for another like hour plus. But the Reichenbach's phenomena, like energetic sensitivities, I don't know, because I did not search it, so don't come for me. But I think that is like around like being able to like sense and like sensing energies, like auras, like that kind of sensation. And I think that like for us as witches, to tie it into like magic, right? I think that that's something that we're all very sensitive to, because like when we do a ritual, or when we do any kind of even if it's tarot, like reading other people's energy, like we've talked about in previous folklore sections, like about just our tarot practice, it's like there is this like sensory thing that's just on the cusp of something that definitely exists. There's something there. It's just like hard to explain. And then I know that obviously like as a like pseudoscience or as like people don't like undercut the validity of it because it's just so hard to measure or reproduce. That's why we get like people just like dismissing it entirely. And I'm like, I just don't think we should.
Yeah. Just because we can't explain it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many examples throughout folklore
Yeah.
of how humanity tried to explain the unexplainable.
Yeah.
And yes, it's very cool that have the science and the technology and the knowledge of why, of what happens with the moon or the seasons or so many other things, right? But I also think in mankind's search for knowledge, we've lost touch with like the magic of the unknown. And that, I mean, I personally would rather live in a world where like there's a storm because we've angered the gods.
Yeah.
Like that to me, I'm like, yeah, what are we going to do? How are we going to make an offering and tune into nature and like focus on this moment instead of like, I'm going to shut my windows and just not go outside.
Yeah. I wish that we could just give offerings to the earth to tell her sorry for all the times.
We could.
We can definitely, we can and should do that. But it's like, I wish that en masse as citizens of the world, all citizens of the world, yes. I wish that we could just be like, we're sorry for infringing in the way that we have on your resources. Please, like, climate change is scary. I don't like where this is going.
And I don't know if vampires can survive climate change.
Huh.
Well, think about it. If all of the people die.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And all of the animals die.
They would just be desiccated, I guess. Yeah,
they're just desiccated in space. Just floating.
That feels so... Oh my God, vampires in space. Have you ever seen Jason X, the 10th?
I haven't. It's one of the only Jasons I haven't seen. It's because it wasn't on anything I could stream when I was doing a watch of all of the Jasons.
It is also one of my favorite Jason movies. It just reminded me of that movie for some reason, like just thinking about a desiccated vampire in space, and I was like, that fits to me.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, well, I feel like this might not be the last time we're gonna be kind of touching on this and expanding more into other stuff. But it is also, I just like, before we move on, I think it's cool that as we build the folklore around in our episodes and grow our knowledge, just being able to kind of like pull these threads together of the things that we're learning and just from stuff we've learned independently from the podcast, and just how magic and science are just, and like folklore, there's just these little threads that just kind of like are connected between them, and history. Like, and I feel like that's why often we pull in these different things, because they all kind of bump up against each other in one way or another. And I love that. So.
Absolutely.
All right. Shall we move on to our hot takes and final thoughts?
Yes. Let's move into hot takes and final thoughts. All right. Let's jump into hot takes and final thoughts. So I think I want to start by talking about Matt and his mom.
Yeah. Okay.
So the scene with Kelly and Matt at the end definitely is meant to make us sympathize with Kelly. And I do to an extent, but she's so terrible to Caroline. And as I talked about previously, and we talked about previously, no one speaks up. I personally would have liked to have a scene or even a quick line with Matt checking on Caroline and assuring her she's not just a rebound, or in all caps, at the very least, apologizing for his rude ass mom.
Yeah, I agree. So I am with you on this. I just yes to all of that. And like Elena, like I know we kind of said it a little bit in the earlier part of the episode, but like she needed to clap the fuck back. Like she should have been defending Caroline as her friend, and like just because she just was so passive in the way that
Right.
like Kelly was just being with her, and it's just so weird to me. But also just like in this moment, to me, like Kelly is so classless.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the like, because and it's not even like they're like take out the like socioeconomic standing. It's just like that is a class, like the opposite of classy. Like a classless thing to do is to just be mean. Like I think that that's so fucking rude. And I don't know. And then my question was, did you ever have an ex's parent hate you? Because I know that you get along with your in-laws. So like I didn't know if you ever had an experience of that.
So I don't think I've ever dated someone whose parents like didn't like me. I feel like parents generally really like me to the point where I've continued being friendly with exes' parents. What about you?
I don't want to be like, wow, everyone also really liked me, but
You're very likable. My parents love you.
I thank you so much. I do have a way with parents. I'll say I just like them most of the time. So I don't like, I mean, unless I have a reason to not, like and even then I'm still, I think just part of how I was like raised was to be just like very polite and respectful of like my like, authority figures.
Let's talk a little bit about Trudy and her connection to Elena's birth mother.
Yeah.
Isabel.
What did I have? Oh yeah. I think Trudy knew who Elena's father was. That was like so crazy. Like that skirting around that.
She's just as bad as a liar as Elena is.
She honestly though, facts.
I was like, two bad liars sitting in one room.
It's really like, what the fuck? So, because she was just like, nah, could never get her to confess.
After like a long pause.
I was like, girl, what?
Yeah.
No.
And like, did Trudy deserve to die? No. But do we also mourn her? Not really.
No.
Because we don't know her.
We didn't really know her. And it was just like, she was very just like weird, cagey, like skirted around like things. Just very strange. I don't know. Any other thoughts on Trudy?
No.
Sorry, Trudy. Sorry, girl.
Sorry.
What do we have next on our little list? So we can, I know we're like bouncing back and forth between certain things. Do we want to talk about Isabel? Any Isabel thoughts or?
I know you have Isabel thoughts.
Do you not have any Isabel thoughts?
I mean, I have thoughts, but not articulated yet.
Oh, okay. Well,
jump in.
All right. Well, I was thinking just trying to follow the logic of like where we're going. Yeah. Like, I mean, I just like already hate Isabel because from the flashbacks to like the puppeteering of innocent humans to murder and kill themselves for virtually no reasons has me mad.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you called Isabel out for being a cold bitch earlier in the episode, and like she really does come across that way, and it doesn't seem like vampirism it's only amplified that.
Yeah.
I'll be very curious once we get to meet her. Because right now we just have these flashbacks.
Yeah.
But it does seem like a lot of carnage unnecessarily.
Yeah, like it's just kind of like, for what, girl? I don't know.
And I think I feel like to kind of follows that thread, then we got to talk about Rick.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing is I'm so glad Rick's not dead.
Thank goodness. I was like, gone too soon, buddy. Like for like the first part of that.
Yeah. Do we think that the ring is a magical talisman? I mean, it's protected.
I mean, it could be. It feels like it's got a little like magical it has an oomph if it's a talisman.
I mean, that ring's not science, it's magic.
Like that thing brought a full ass human back from the dead, presumably with his lung intact, because I think Damon says something about getting his lung.
Yeah, he punctured his lung.
So
that's crazy. So I'm excited to learn more about that. And I really feel for both him and Elena in this episode. Jenna and others, really. Jenna, Stefan, Damon, etc. We're dropping a lot of truth bombs.
Mhm.
And that's a lot for Rick to not only realize that his wife, A, is a vampire and like wanted to be a vampire and left him, but then that she had a child and never told him. And then that child is his student, even though we've seen them in class together once. But so there's that piece. And then for Elena, it's just so much information that she's getting.
Yeah.
And, she's like, oh, okay, I'm learning more about my birth mother. This is so exciting. Oh, she might be dead. Oh, she might be my teacher's dead wife. Oh, she is my teacher's dead wife. Wait a minute. Damon's who killed her? Oh, wait, and she might not be dead. She's a vampire, and she's been sending this creepy man after me. And then he steps in front of a bus in front of me. She doesn't even really react to that.
No, she doesn't. I guess
just like the rest of the town.
I think it's because she probably is just at this point.
She's just in shock.
I think, but not only just her in shock, but I feel like she's just seen some shit in these last few episodes that I think she's just completely. I don't know, just completely. But before we get away from Rick, because I do have a couple Rick things. So, I just wanted to just call. I think I started saying it before, but the payoff for Rick's ring was very well done. Just the fact that it was peppered in earlier in the episode. Mm-hmm. I just thought that was really really good, and I really appreciated it felt like a satisfying payoff to learn what the ring does after because it kind of was introduced, kind of highlighted, remarked on, we kind of forgot about it for a little bit, and then it just came back and is relevant. It's oh shit, yeah, he does have that ring, and that was really cool. And then my other question is why did Alaric participate in, and I feel this will go back to some of the Bachelor stuff, but why did Alaric participate in the Bachelor Raffle when him and Jenna are seemingly on the precipice of dating? I just don't know why. Why?
I think he just got roped in it.
Because it just was weird. Again, I understand those kinds of things, but I don't think I would be hey, Dwight, yeah, I would love for you to go. I mean, a little different circumstances, but you know what I mean, though? Somebody that you're romantically interested in, being hey, you want to go on a date with literally someone else, for charity? I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Jenna obviously enters trying to win him, and she does.
Yeah, so I mean.
And then he ditches her.
Yeah, he does. But, and you know what? I was did she, did that get organized? Did she also tip Carol off for that? Did she try to, pull some strings with Carol?
Maybe.
Okay, so I know you have some thoughts on The Bachelor.
Oh, I've got so many thoughts. Okay, first thought. Who do we think was the Bachelor who dropped out last minute? Could it be Ben?
I feel that's a pretty good.
Because I'm who else do we know that's single or unmarried in town that's over the age of 18? Mr. Tanner, he's dead.
He's dead.
Mayor Lockwood, he's married.
But that doesn't stop Carol Lockwood from securing
Caroline's dad is gay, and he doesn't seemingly live in town. Elena's dad, dead.
Well, you know what? There's Pete. Pete could have come back to Mystic Falls even though they're broken up, but he's not from there.
But I don't think he's from there. So it's who else do we know? We don't know anybody else. So I'm I think it could be Ben. Okay. I know that Damon talks about to Carol his date ideas to take a girl out to the woods. And obviously he's wink wink nudge nudge, I'm gonna bite her kind of thing. But I'm in all seriousness, where do you think Damon would take Carol Lockwood on a date? Because I feel he wouldn't just chomp the mayor's wife. But that housewife is thirsting after him. So what do you envision for their date?
Oh my God! Well, they're obviously getting litty wherever they're going. They're
gonna have some dirty martinis.
They are and you know what? I don't peg Carol Lockwood as someone who would have an issue with day drinking. So, they're getting litty from the top of the day.
Yeah.
Starting off with a dirty martini.
Yeah, definitely.
Or maybe a sensible mimosa. I don't know. I could see Damon being starting with a little bit of bubbles in the morning, and then just them. They need to go to something fancy or swanky. Like it feels correct. Like because maybe like a speakeasy, and maybe this is just because of her costume from Halloween.
It's definitely because of
But
that.
like, but if that feels like a correct place for them to
Yeah.
go, is like some kind of like one of those speakeasies where you have to like give a little password and then like do that and hang out, and there's like jazz music and stuff. I mean, that sounds like a really fun time. I
Right.
would also love that.
I love it. I love it.
I'm trying to think if there's like anything else. Like I also could see them going to like an auction, like an actual not like necessarily like the Bachelor Raffle, but like an actual like expensive bougie ass like auction where they like go buy an old artifact. But actually it's just Damon secretly trying to find some fucking artifact that's like from the history of the town. What about you?
I think you summed it up. I think you did perfectly. You had some thoughts about the Bachelor Raffle, right?
Let me see. I think
notably the plumber.
Oh yes, the plumber. Like, wait, where did I? Where is it? No, I mean, I think we touched on the plumber like a little earlier, but like, unless I'm missing where I have it written, but there is just like the plumber. I just hate that.
Yeah.
I love the plumber. I feel like he's just, and isn't that the one that like, even though Kelly won the thing, isn't he the same one that she was like, I went to high school with him, like, blah. And I'm like, y'all are throwing like these, like especially Carol and Kelly, they're throwing way too much shade when they are both pretty shitty people.
And like publicly shitty.
Yeah. Oh, and like, yeah, just calling him out, like just like saying, what does she say? She says something like,
you and the plumber are gonna have so much fun.
So much fun. And it's like, ew, bitch, bye.
Yeah. Other thoughts, still not over the Bachelor Raffle continuing. Like a man didn't just step out front of a truck just outside. This is so Mystic Falls.
100%.
All right. We got to talk about Damon. I don't have a lot to say other than he's across the board sucks this episode, except for his abs. They are great.
Yeah, he does. I mean, like, I just think that he just incites violence for no reason. Like, there's just really, truly
no wonder he and Isabel made sense.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think they just are both just playing from the shitty same playbook of maybe being influenced by Catherine. Who knows? And hate that.
Yeah. And then the last thing about men in the episode is the episode is titled A Few Good Men. Who would we say are the good men in this episode? I would say, without a doubt, Stefan. But who else would we say is one of our few good men? I mean,
Alaric.
Yeah.
I feel like,
even though he's like day drinking.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to knock him. He got some pretty gnarly news.
Yeah. I think overall he's doing his best. I do feel like he's kind of ditching Jenna maybe like one too many times. Yeah. Like,
I don't know. I'm gonna give him. I'll give him the benefit. But he's having a day. That's like a day. I mean, he literally kissed this woman that he was really starting to be into. She drops his mom on him, and now he has to parse through all of those feelings while also knowing that the man that he knows is connected to his wife's death is like also just in his fucking face. And at one point in time, drinking literally right next to him, and he knows that he's a vampire. Like, there's just a lot there.
Yeah.
So
he's doing his best.
He's doing his best. So I think he is one of the few good men.
And I think the plumber, and I think that's
I think it's the plumber. I wouldn't call Matt a few good men because he's just not defending his lady, and that's a frown in my book.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What else?
What about Bon Bon?
No Bonnie this episode because she's at Graham's funeral. I missed her and I missed Graham's.
Well, is she at she was, I think they were all at probably because I think Elena says that they went to the funeral, but I guess she's just like staying with her aunt like in the aftermath of the funeral maybe.
It's very murky.
Yeah.
It is not clear when the funeral was.
Yeah.
If Elena was there, she said like Graham's funeral is making me think, but that doesn't mean she was there.
Oh, I kind of read it that she went to Graham's funeral and that it brought up the stuff for her parents.
But then I'm like, but then why isn't she like in Mystic Falls? Like she's staying with her aunt.
Yeah.
Like we miss you here.
Yeah. I
Which
don't know, but
makes
it
it seem like she's
maybe
not
it's
in
like
town.
because Graham's passed away, maybe they just like decide, like her dad or whatever, like decided to just like have her go be with her
Maybe.
aunt. I don't know.
Maybe.
We just honestly, the most important thing is that we just want to know where she is.
We just
Bonnie,
miss her.
we just missed you. You were missed, but like I also think that she needed time off from the bullshit. So honestly, she needed a pause. So that's fine.
Yeah, we didn't have any Tyler, but I didn't miss him.
No, and like that. Yeah, I mean, can't wait to catch up with him whenever we do. Not really, but you know. Okay. So I think your thought, and then we'll do mine because they are tied together.
So genuinely, this episode felt so long that I forgot about Harper and the weird vamp lady at the town square until the final scene.
I feel like that was also very much something that I was feeling in this episode. So I do have two final thoughts on this. One, I think I'm already over the tomb vampires and we haven't even gotten started with them. So that's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, like, this is my hottest take. This is another episode where I feel like it wasn't very strong or interesting, and it just needed to like the purpose of this episode was to just put pieces into place so that we knew what happened to Isabel. And then other like character dynamic advancements like Caroline, Matt, and like Kelly, and like just and just creating more tension with like Jenna and Alaric, and like Elena learning more of the connective tissue between like Damon, and like even just like like there's just like all these things are like just being crisscrossed around. And I think like that was what like the purpose of this episode was, but I didn't like leave this episode being like, wow, what a great great one.
Yeah, I didn't have a good time.
Yeah, I was like, this one is
I did not have as good of a time as certain characters like Damon.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite line from the ep?
All right. Do you want me to go? You want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. All right. I have, look, babe, I'm in a 3-way here with you and your computer. The least you can do is let me know what you're up to. And that is from Alaric talking to Isabel, and it's pretty great.
I love it. And mine is from Damon. The Real Housewives of Mystic Falls await. All right. Fuck, marry, kill.
Fuck, marry, kill. Boop, 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 boop. Here we go. Are you ready, or do you want me to go?
You go.
Oh, no. Okay. I'm going to fuck the plumber.
Good choice.
He deserves it. For all that shit, why not? Marry. I'm gonna... who am I marrying? I think Rick. Maybe. He just, like, needs some sad... I don't know. Actually, wait, can I switch it? I think I might marry the plumber and fuck Rick. I feel like maybe that's better. He's kind of bent out of shape. I don't know if fucking will fix it, but I tend to give out pity fucks, so I don't know. And kill, I'm killing Kelly. Because she deserves it. What about you?
Okay, so... I'm going to fuck the plumber.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
It's a real toss-up for who to marry. Since you are taking care of the plumber / Rick, I think I'm going to marry Caroline.
Yeah, I think someone needs to. Thank you for doing that.
Someone needs to step up and take care of this girl. And then, you know, I'm really glad you killed Kelly, but I'm killing Damon.
That's fine. That's fine. I didn't know if we were going to do a double murder on Kelly, but that's okay. But no, Damon also
I have a feeling she'll give me more opportunities to want to kill her.
Yeah.
But if I marry Caroline, I can just take her away from Matt. Just swoop in there.
Yeah, get her out of that.
And then whatever. Fuck both of them.
Yeah. So I love it. I love it. Great choices all around. All right. That's a wrap for today.
Yes.
We did it.
We did it. As a reminder, you can follow us online. It's fun over there. Please join us over at Hello Sister Podcast on Instagram and Threads. Or if you'd like to write us an email, you can do so at hellosisterpodcast1864@gmail.com.
And as always, I would like to thank you, Christina, for not turning my mom into a vampire.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. It's important to me. And as always, a huge thank you to our lovely husbands, Dwight and Alex, for all their hard work and support.
Thank you, Brenna, for always being up to watch The Real Housewives of Mystic Falls with me. And thank you for listening and watching Hello Sister.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello Sister is written, directed, and hosted by Christina Rosso-Schneider and Brenna Dinon. Graphic designs are by Alex Schneider. Music is written and produced by Dwight Evan Young. Sound design and video are recorded and produced by Dwight Evan Young and Brenna Dinon. Hello Sister Podcast is a Bad Day Media production. And a 5, and a 4, and a 3, and a 2, and a 1. Except for, hold on 1 second, I have to burp.
Get
Whoops.
something to drink while you're doing that.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's try that one more time. Hold on. And a 5, 5, and a 4, 3, a 2, a 1.